They touch one card. That's it. From a shuffled deck, they can select whatever card they want. We reverse that card and put it in the middle of the deck, and it finds its perfect four of a kind. This is the instant reverse, and it's a great opener because it's fast, it's surprising, and it doesn't require difficult sleight of hand. It is time for some powerful magic, so check this out. We take the cards right out of the tuck box, and we can give the deck a shuffle. Now, if the spectator wants, they can shuffle up the cards as well. Maybe they're not good at shuffling. Maybe if they want to give the deck a cut, right? Because that's what always happens. The dealer shuffles and someone else gives the deck a cut, right? Fair as can be. Then we have a card just touched by the spectator. They can go ahead and touch whatever card they want. Let's just say this one here. They touch this card. It happens to be the 5 of spades. Now, they could have picked any card they want. They could have picked this card. They could have picked this card. But they happen to pick this one card here, right? 5 of spades. We'll do this. We'll take these cards, turn some of them, or all of them, face up like this. All the cards are face up. And we'll take your one selected 5 of spades and leave it facing the opposite direction and sandwich it somewhere right in the middle. So you can see now, right, if we riffle through, your one card's in the center of the deck. But this is where it gets good. If I just snap my fingers, give the deck a twist like this, you'll see all the cards are facing the same direction except these 4 cards. Now, what was the card that you selected? The 5 of spades, right? Well, the other cards it found were the other 3 5s. Boom. This trick works because the spectator feels like they're picking a completely random card, but the magic lies in what they don't know. So before we dive into the secret, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and grab your favorite deck. And now, let's do it. Breaking this down, I'm going to say there is a setup required. Now, based on your level of skill, it could either be a small setup if you're very skilled, or a larger setup if you're not so skilled like me. If you can do the classic force very well, this will fall right up your alley. But again, if you can't, that's completely fine. I'll show you a way around it. So like I said, big setup, small setup based on how comfortable you are, but let's talk through the process. So you may or may not be aware about the chased order, which is clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds. So chased. And that's how you need to organize, let's say, 4 sets of 4 cards each. So I have 4 of a kind aces here in chased order, clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. Then 4 of a kind threes, again, clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. You want to keep the chased order. Then I have 4 of a kind 5s, and then I have 4 of a kind 7s. You can have whatever cards you want to choose, completely up to you, and that's what makes this really customizable and fun. And I'm just using 4 pairs of 4s, but you can use, I don't know, 5 pairs of 4s, or you can use 10 pairs of 4s. But the key is you need groups of 4s because that's what the reveal is ultimately at the end. And keep in mind, everything is in chased order. And to set up the trick, you grab your set like this, put it on top of the deck, and now you're good to go. So the first goal of the trick is going to be controlling this stack of 16 cards somewhere near the center of the deck. If you're more skilled, you can do like some false shuffles like this, where you're marking where the cards are. Maybe you can shuffle them back up to the top. Maybe you can have a spectator give the deck a cut, whatever you would like to do. But I'd say at the minimum, have the spectator give the deck a cut once you're done doing what you're doing. And again, we want to maintain these cards on top. If you're not comfortable shuffling, you can just give the deck some false cuts. One of my favorites is something that goes like this. Hold the deck in a middle grip in my dominant or right hand here. Like this, thumb on bottom, middle finger on top. Then using my index finger, I swing cut about 1/3 like this. Then with the remaining half here, or with the remaining 2/3, I cut half of it again, swing cut that over, hold a pinky break on the bottom, put this packet in my hand down, put the next packet above the pinky break, down and down. And what's amazing is that the order on top, right, the order on top, all my extra cards are there, is maintained. So whatever you want to do, you want to control these cards to somewhere in the center where you can find them. My recommendation would be about 1/4 of the cards you want to end up with, on top. But based on how the spectator cuts, you can see how many cards are cutting, and you can go, based off that end. But let's say you start this trick off, you shuffle up the cards, right now they're on top. You put the deck down, you tell the spectator to give the deck a cut. Let's say they cut, halfway in, right? So they cut about half the deck. This is where you got to be careful now, right? They cut about half the deck, they put that there. Now, when you start spreading, you want them to pick below this halfway mark. So as quickly as possible, I spread out and just come to this area to allow them to pick from here. Again, it's classic force style where as they're going in, that's where you approach, or that's where you spread out the cards the most, the closer they get to picking out or touching a card. So in this case, you can have them pick them out, you can have them touch it, whatever you like to do. Let's say they come here, right? You're shifting out these cards and they pick out this card. So in this case, it is the 7 of clubs. Now, this is within our stack, right? We have the aces, 3s, 5s, and 7s all in clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds order. So we see this, we hand this card to them. Now, with the clubs, you know, since it's first in the chased order, the other 3 7s are gonna be right underneath it, right? We have those 3 7s. If they happen to pick another card, for example, the 7 of hearts, then you know below is 2 cards and you know above is 1 card. But let's just use this above case. Actually, you know what? Let's just take this. Let's take 7 of hearts. Let's say they selected the 7 of hearts because I want you to be able to follow this easily. Let's say they take 7 of hearts, tell them to take it out. And at this point, right, you have 1 card here, that's a 7, and you have 2 cards here, that's a 7. So what I like to do is, if there are cards underneath, I said you could have picked any of these cards, but you chose that one. As I'm doing this, I now have these 3 cards here, right? 1, 2, and 3. As I'm squaring up, I grab a break underneath those cards with my pinky finger. And as I square up even more, I grab a second break with, here with my thumb. And if you're not comfortable grabbing a break with your thumb, you can grab 1 break with your pinky finger and another break with your ring finger, which I prefer, but completely up to you on what you want to do, right? So you're pretty much separating these 3 cards from the rest of the deck. And now you take the top break, here you take this break, and you flip all the cards above over. Then with the last break you have underneath the pinky, underneath the pinky finger, you take those cards, turn them over and bring them on top, and then you show the cards as they're all face up. You borrow the spectator selected card here. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind, don't stick out here for a long time, right? Because now they're going to see groups of cards together. So I just quickly go through like this, not spreading all the way down here. Quickly go through like this, all the cards face up. We're going to take your selected card, turn it face down, put it on top of the deck, and then quickly give the deck a cut like so. All that's done, it sets you up for freedom. So now you can pretty much reveal in any way that you want. What I like to do is I like to keep the deck like this. I like to turn the deck over. And then I like to do this for the spectator. So I tell the spectator, you can take a look as you're riffling here, right? You can take a look and it just seems like there's just 1 card face down. If you riffle through quickly, there's 1 card face down. So I say, okay, you can see your face down card, right? And they say yes. And then you can give it a snap, you can give it a wave, you can do a magical move like this, whatever you'd like to do. Then you do that spread. I like to spread the cards face up because it just brings more of an effect to it. Spread out the cards like so. And you want to immediately bring in the focus here, right? Because now there could be groups of cards together. Immediately bring in the focus here. I like to spread the rest of the cards out with just these 4, and I tell them to take it out. And now they could take it out, or if you want to take it out, you could do that too, but just having them do it is a bit more powerful. And you can say, what was the card you selected? They say 7 of hearts. Well, a 7 of hearts found the other 3 7s. And boom, mind is blown instantly. Real quick recap, you want to have 4 4-of-a-kinds placed right on top of the deck. You can do it more or less based on your level of expertise. And then you want to either give the deck a false shuffle or a false cut, and then ultimately end up having the spectator cut the deck. And you want to keep note of how many cards that they're cutting, or approximately what portion of the deck that they're cutting. So once they cut the deck, when you spread the cards, you can spread to where your stack is. And then a card is selected, in this case, 3 of spades. Now this is a spade, I know 2 cards are 3s above it, and I know 1 card is a 3 below it. They take this card out, I say you can select any one of these cards. I grab those breaks, right? Then I flip over the top half, flip over the bottom, right on top like this. Take their 3, I show them all these cards are face up. Take their 3, put it on top, facing down, give the deck a cut. From here, I also enjoy giving the deck a quick riffle, show they have 1 card face down somewhere in the center. Snap, do some kind of move, spread the cards all face up like this. They see 4 cards facing the opposite direction, and of course, all 4 relates to their selected 3. Even though this is a quick trick, you want to make sure not to rush and really emphasize the parts of magic. That's what's going to make it killer. This is not the kind of trick you want to base your whole routine around, but it's a strong punch right out the gate. A huge shout out to all my Underground Club members, and thank you, love you, see you soon. Deck fell far.